Welcome to Sweetie Pies was a show about Robbie Montgomery, a former member of the Ikettes who once was a backup singer for the legendary Tina Turner. She opened a restaurant in St. Louis, and the restaurant became so popular that Oprah Winfrey stopped by. Oprah enjoyed the atmosphere, and of course, this was an opportunity for her own network, so she decided to give them a show which lasted for several years. As the years went on, the family grew, which included her grandchildren. One of her grandsons, Andre Montgomery, who we saw throughout the episode, struggled a bit with high school, but eventually he graduated. We also saw Tim, her son, who had done some time in prison and upon his release was now a manager at Sweetie Pies, where his job was to help her maintain control, if you will, of the franchises she had opened. However, in 2016, Miss Robbie filed a lawsuit against her son, Tim, for $100 million, where she accuses her son of stealing money and misusing her trademark to open competing restaurants, as well as misappropriating her funds, and he maintained a connection in the management. Also in 2016, we saw Andre Montgomery, her grandson, was murdered, and the episode aired showing the funeral and the effects that it had on the family. During that episode, there was also a scene where the accused orchestrator of his murder, along with Miss Robbie, visited the location where he was murdered, and Tim was visibly neutral about the loss of his nephew. Fast forward to today, where there are now allegations stating that Tim is being charged with conspiracy to use interstate commerce facilities in the commission of a murder for hire resulting in his nephew's death. In addition to that, there is a Terica Ellis, an exotic dancer out of Memphis, who investigators say was Norman's accomplice. This goes back to 2014, where Tim took out a $450,000 life insurance policy on his nephew, where he was named the sole beneficiary. Then 2 years later, the nephew was murdered around 8 p.m. on March 14, 2016, in St. Louis. The investigation reveals that Ellis and Norman purchased temporary cell phones the same day, a day prior to the murder, where he also messaged her the address where the grandson was murdered. GPS data also shows that at the time of the shooting, her first call was to Tim. Then after the murder, she was back on the road returning to Memphis. A day later, both phones were deactivated. Now, Ellis deposited more than $9,000 in cash in multiple bank accounts, which she opened one day after the shooting. Then, of course, Norman attempts to collect the life insurance. However, the company did not pay him because he did not provide several required documents. He also met up with Ellis in LA in the same week, where he sent her $700 using a Western Union transfer around April 30th. Now, the investigation is still ongoing with the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department and the FBI. You see, I used to watch this show, and I never had a good feeling about this man, the way he treated his then fiance and his lack of care for his son. And now we know why. Because if this man could treat his mother the way he has, attempt to run his ex-girlfriend over with a car, slash her tires, and vandalize her vehicles, there's nothing he won't do. You see, he was always one that wanted money, and he was never satisfied with just being who he was. Now the outcome is him allegedly taking out a $450,000 life insurance policy on his nephew, contracting a stripper to commit the murder. And I know when his nephew was lying on that cold concrete dying, he knew that his uncle had set him up to be killed, allegedly. This is a sad story because a lot of people think that their loved ones are worth more dead than alive. These are just my thoughts. Comment below whether you agree or you don't. Remember to like, comment, and share. And stay tuned. And I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.